I was doing a play on the fairest of them all from Snow White, with the witch.
I never seen it.
You've never seen Snow White?
I know. I've been married 10 years,
gosh.
and I've never.
And you have a daughter, and you've never seen Snow.
Welcome to the It Couple.
Here you will get to listen to a husband and wife babble
About life situations, enjoyment, and fantasies.
And without further ado, let's start the show.
All right. Hello, everybody.
Hello.
I'm Laura.
And I'm Xavion.
And today we are going to ask the question that everybody wants the answer to. Who is the best of them all?
Well, not the best. I mean,
Baddest.
I think we want to have a good,
Baddest.
solid conversation about villains.
I was doing a play on the fairest of them all from Snow White, with the witch.
I never seen it.
You've never seen Snow White?
I know. I've been married 10 years,
gosh.
and I've never.
And you have a daughter, and you've never seen Snow White?
I've seen so many bits and pieces and little memes here and there, but I've never sat through the entire movie of Snow White.
Probably my fault. It's not my favoriteest of them all.
You got a bottle.
What?
That's gonna be on the speaker now.
I'm sorry, I'm thirsty. He's thirsty.
Yes.
I need water. I talk. You get thirsty. I get thirsty even if I don't talk. I'm a thirsty girl.
Yeah, we should probably start over.
Really?
No, I'm kidding. We can leave thirsty girl in there.
Okay.
Okay. Anywho, so
What's wrong with thirsty girl?
nothing's wrong with the thirsty girl in my eye. Anywho, here's what I wanted to talk about today. It was burning in my head. We had not too long ago we saw a movie, and
Which we will not talk about because
I want to do a review on. I don't want to do a review on it. Anyway, it was it Thanos the movie? That's what it was.
It's also known as Avengers, Infinity War.
And yes,
Is that what it's called?
That's what the actual printed name is. But it's Thanos the movie. If you haven't seen it, go see it because we can't. I don't want to give any spoilers. This isn't a review of the movie. This is actually something that I was thinking about the movie, and I was like, "This is an excellent talk about."
Although, if you were on the fence with whether you like 3D movies or not, I would suggest not with this one.
Yeah, what I felt like when watching this movie is that it was like, you have 4K and all this higher definition. Putting the glasses on and splitting the image definitely knocked it down the clarity a couple notches.
It was like, okay, from the very first Thor movie, when Thor's friends came down to find him and all that, and they were in their full costume set, and and all of a sudden, you took the same outfits that they were wearing on their land, and you put them into Earth, and all of a sudden it went from looking awesome to really weird and creepy looking and not great.
Yeah.
And then it was that's kind of what I felt like while watching some of these, not the whole movie, but certain parts that were meant to be the 3D special effect, cool scenes and stuff like that. I got pulled out of it a little bit, oh, wait, what world am I in?
Yeah, actually, my favorite scene in there is
No spoilers.
No spoilers. I'm not spoiling anything. My favorite scene was where you were in space. There's a space scene somewhere in there. You may have seen it in the trailer. And you get to see this faraway look. And kind of imagine back in the day, you had your computer. It had little stars floating at your screen, your screensaver. It kind of had that 3D in a 3D effect. But that was a far shot of a backwards galaxy. It's not poking in your face. And that was the best it provided. And that doesn't say much about the entire movie when you have these amazing characters. But we got to get off this topic.
Okay.
You
mean we have to get back on topic?
Get back on topic. Yes. Okay. Get off topic to get back on topic. and actually talk about villains, because this movie had probably what I can think of right now, and it could just be because it's fresh in my mind. One of the best villains I've seen in in these hero movies I've seen.
Well, yeah, I think most of the time, when you get villains, and even the ones that are considered not good villains, but they're
They're the
villains
ones
done
you
well.
love, like Joker. You talked about that
they
earlier.
they're missing a very important aspect to them. Most of them are insane or whatever, and that's the reason for them doing what they do. So they don't have like motive or reason or I don't know, a story,
Yeah,
and
which
Thanos had
that's essential to characters.
Thanos had all of that. Like,
yes,
I mean, was he still insane? Yeah, but he had his reasons. He had, a motive and and all that fun stuff.
he had a reason for what he was doing, and
yeah, he knew what he was doing. He knew what he was willing to do to get it, to give up, to whatever, and he went for it.
and then like what I was seeing, like with a lot of poor made villains, I feel like they're evil because reason or because no reason. I just enjoy being evil, and the closest I can
That's where
say,
usually the insanity ploy comes into play.
well, they're not insane. They're clearly smart or intelligent,
Yeah.
and they're still evil because reason. I think one of those very horrible villains was in Thor's second movie with the weird. I don't even remember him, and a lot of people like to say, "Oh, forget the movie." I don't think it was that bad. I think it wasn't. I don't think it was good.
Thor's second?
Yes, the second movie of Thor. There was, and you may have actually forgotten, I guess, because it wasn't all that impressive.
Yeah, the only part I remember the most is when they had what's her name, and they brought her Natalie Portman character, whatever her name was, and they brought her up to what is the name of his planet?
Azeroth.
Okay, yeah.
I think it
Anyhow,
was.
when they brought
or
her,
no, it's not. That's World of Warcraft.
it's something. Anyhow,
Asgard.
There we go. When they brought her up there, and and that whole scene with her being up there with the the lady who used to be the Borg queen from Star Trek, and that whole scene is literally all I can remember about the movie right now.
Oh my goodness! So there was the area when they were like for some reason in the sand, and there was the weird chase, and Loki was in a ship, and somehow Thor hopped aboard, and then they went to this weird sand land where they met the villain guy, and then the Loki faked his death or something like that. He lost his hand.
I cannot even think about who the villain is from that movie.
Yeah, and there was a part when there was like he was dropping stuff through portals into a city, and it was falling.
I do kind of remember that part.
Yeah, somewhere he was in there. The main bad guy was in there, and he was that memorable. And the way you poorly described this
I didn't
main.
describe him at all. I don't know. I really don't know who it is. Like I can't think of it.
But that's what makes a horrible villain.
Yeah.
You have nothing to attach to your memory about him. What has he done? I don't know. He's
forgettable.
He wanted to have some kind of goal. It was probably stated in there somewhere, but very poorly. And a villain is very important to most stories. This is the main reason this hero is a hero. He's to stop the villain. And like I think even like when it comes to those poorly made villains, what kind of like irks me is there's this simple character like quirk that you got to have, and not like a goofy thing, but something that makes you. I got to have a reason to almost agree with, or just see your point, see why we should hate you. You may have this thing. This guy really believes that it's going to work. I need to kill all these people so that I can do this. For this reason, like, okay, I can kind of buy into you being a villain. They need to stop you. You're wrong.
Yeah.
But now we can.
I feel like that's a lot of the thing that we miss from a lot of villains and why they're forgettable. I mean, most people build a movie around the hero or the good person, and let's cheer them on. Not very often, and they're kind of starting to play with it, but they're doing more of the wicked kind of. Oh, well, they're not as bad as you think they are kind of storyline. But anyhow, so, I feel
them.
Like, I am perfectly fine with having a bad person we focus on their story. They're the bad guy. I don't need to like them. It doesn't need to be Deadpool where, he straddles the line and he's a good bad guy. Or what they're trying to do now with, I don't know.
I'm thinking Harley Quinn off the bat.
Yeah, I know. But we haven't seen the movie yet, so we can't make assumptions.
Well, I guess Harley Quinn from there. Okay, maybe not Harley Quinn like the video game, the cartoon, the recent movie that came out, but not there is a product out there
Suicide
that
Squad.
Suicide Squad, which I like that Harley. The rest of the movie was garbage, but that's my opinion. But there is a toy out there, and there's a little cartoon show out there where they have like Harley Quinn being roommates with Wonder Woman, and you know
I thought it was Poison Ivy.
or Poison Ivy, but yeah, she's in that mix too. And it's like they're kind of like being good girls or whatever or nice.
Well, I mean, even in the comics, Harley was kind of always kind of going back and forth and stuff, whatever suited her.
For the most part,
right?
she stayed evil. She was crazy in love with Mr. J,
Yeah.
but that was her motif. She didn't do it because that. She do it because she loved Mr. J, and was she wasn't doing evil to be evil. That's kind of like the weak, the weak villain trope. You know, she was evil because she was with Mr. J. Mr. J wasn't quite a healthy relationship situation that was going on there, but you know that was the reason why she was that way. That was her pure motivation. No one's really evil to just do evil, and I think that's what makes a poor villain. They're evil because what they are wanting is an act of evil.
Insert storyline.
Exactly. So, like, because she's in love with this really madman who doesn't care about this, whatever, and and for whatever reasons, because she is crazy. I think
you have to insert more than I guess than just a storyline, because Mr. Freeze, Dr. Freeze, what is his name?
Oh, yes. I
mean,
love him as a villain.
He has a story.
He doesn't get portrayed that well.
I mean, he has a story, but, if you do that story badly, it's not going to be a good villain.
Don't give me the cold shoulder.
Whole movie, though, was a bit of a train wreck. So.
Yeah, but I love the
not just him.
I think the cartoon version of the Batman kind of had that moment where it really piqued him. It piqued my interest as him as a really good, solid villain because his wife dies. Spoiler alert, but not dies, or she's like kind of almost living, and he's holding on to her, for all he can because he loves his wife, and he's trying to bring her back. And he needs to get this something, and depending on whatever the situation is, in order to kind of bring her back or try to restore her back to life. And he's doing all he can. So he goes into crime because that's the only way he can achieve this goal. And that's a real motive. I can buy into that. I could be Mr. Freeze because I love you so much. But he has that motive. Like he's a villain, but he's not really evil. If his wife didn't have that issue, or didn't fall into the accident.
What makes you evil? I mean,
exactly.
Is it your motive, or is it what you do because of that motive? So, I mean, in all honesty, he is evil, at least in my idea of it, because from the moment that he did, the wrong thing or hurt somebody or caused mayhem and whatever, then he became evil.
Yeah, but then again,
his acts are what made him
evil. Using that logic, let's say for everybody who's ever had or been around a father type that's really one of those strong father types, you hurt that person's son or daughter, and that person that that you would die for, and yeah, you will become a villain in a heartbeat. I mean, if that's all it takes to be a villain, to just defend something that you love, even though they may have done something wrong or they may not be a good person or whatever, yeah, that's a turning point that even I would say, I'm going towards the dark side. No, this is not, you're not going to do this to my daughter. I'm going to do everything I can. And I think a lot of people just kind of rally behind me and yeah, I would be that, do that too. There was that one situation that happened in the courtroom not too long ago with the cheerleaders, not to throw news in.
No, gymnastics.
Yeah, the gymnastics that had that horrible situation. I don't want to go into it. But the father was out to, get up and strike the guy in the courtroom, and he was forgiven, but for that reason. There is that moment of that gray area where, you kind of straddle a line. And I think that Mr. Freeze does a really good job of being that gray area villain.
Yeah.
I suppose. Let me throw in the Joker here, because the Joker is one of those weird villains where he is almost could pull off the reason of being evil just because.
Oh yeah, I mean he's totally evil, but he's he's still awesome.
Yeah, exactly. We love him.
Well, at least depending on who plays him.
I guess like for like a lot of people, at least that I've talked to before, like my very interesting thing, because he straddles that one rule, like he almost breaks it, of like, why is he a successful villain? Because he's like evil because evil is fun, because I am evil. And it's not because he has a story. It's always a mystery of his backstory. He doesn't really need a reason. I think that it's because of his character. His character creates that story of why he is him, and why we can even see kind of like his madness. It's like having like
I think honestly, I think it's not just about him. Him by himself, I'm not sure if people would really like him, but the connection, I guess, between him and Batman, I think that's where people really fall in love with the Joker.
Yeah,
because they are just hilarious together. They're like Tom and Jerry, a cat and mouse, or whatever. Like, it's like this
hilarious. Depending on what comic you read, he's hilarious and controversial, and he's cruel, but in like a very tasty, savvy. The comics, he gets dark.
I don't read the comics.
Oh, well, that's a different. But when you've seen in the movies of him,
Yes.
I mean, they are a perfect pair.
I always love the Lego movie Batman and how they like really play up that whole relationship and stuff. That's hilarious.
But it is like a perfect, you got this silent, dark knight, stoic person, and you got this guy, shut the and just he throws bombs and stuff like that, and it's just like has the laugh. So you have this over top, this contrast of a Batman as a villain, and this complete jokester.
Yep.
And then you have Batman, this
would Batman be considered an introvert?
Maybe Batman may be an introvert, but you know what? Bruce Wayne's a total extrovert.
Yeah.
Total. And then okay, I think to kind of expand on the villain kind of theme.
So he has bipolar. No, not bipolar. Two personalities.
I guess that's what it's called. Is it bipolar?
No, not bipolar.
Split personality is just
yeah.
I guess that's all it's called. I think there's another technical name for it.
I don't know.
Go to our website, join up our blog, and please correct us on it. How about that? This to help us out there.
We are not experts on most anything.
I want to bounce back to Thanos now.
Oh, okay, yeah.
Okay, now Thanos. He's no Joker. He's no Mr. Freeze. He's I think a really well done different version of a villain where he has a clear motive. No one likes his plan. He's a full believer in it, and he's going at it 110%.
I mean, there were people on his side.
Well,
who
yeah,
did follow him.
Yeah,
but mostly it's like he's the alpha, and they're just kind of following his orders, kind of thing.
Yes. I think like I watched a bit of I think it's Wisecrack did a great video about like kind of like I guess what their predictions were about the movie, which I noticed a lot of people are doing predictions. They are predicting a whole lot of what's going to happen next.
Yeah.
Which I think that may be a problem if somehow Marvel doesn't do at least come close to some of these predictions. Because some of these predictions are so good that they could be really good movies, that if they do something different, I feel like it's going to be a worse movie. And I think that's what happened to Star Wars, because I think some of the predictions sound better than the actual movie came out to be. Like, is there going to be something with his parents? Nope, that was nothing. Like, maybe you should have went to, and like, no, we're not going to do any of those. We're going to do our own thing. And like, maybe you should have, because it was a better idea. And like, don't even write your story. Just look at what the fans put the best together, and you can have a good movie.
Yeah,
but everybody's doing predictions.
It's not always that work that way. Just fans do not always know best.
Can you think of another villain that's similar to the Thanos that we saw? We're not giving any spoilers though, but I'm just curious if there's someone else. Yeah, there's someone that's like that.
Not off the top of my head, no.
I can think of the one it comes off the top of my head, and it's not the greatest one. He's a real life actual villain that's not living, but he was real, and that was freaking the Nazis, Hitler.
Oh.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He had his.
Well, yeah, but there were different reasons, so.
Yeah, totally different reasons. Totally different. Thanos is no Hitler.
No.
He does kill.
Well, I mean, they have something in common.
Yeah, they do. But I think that
And a bad thing.
but I'm trying to think of like a
I don't.
villain
I
that's
guess like I was thinking, less real and going for Megatron from Transformers.
oh yeah, just kind of wanting to just take over by any means that he wants
Yeah.
Earth because reasons.
Yeah.
I don't think he was a great villain, but yeah, he definitely wanted destroy the Megabots.
Yeah.
They must all be gone so we can take over. That was definitely his goal. Yeah, I'm drawing a blank on anybody else too. Like I probably pull it. Maybe it's because I play too many video games and stuff like that. So like all of them were drawing a blank. The I can think of another one. From the because World of Warcraft is on the mind. What was his name?
Which one?
The big. Well, when there was a lot of green guys, but he was the older green guy wizard. That was in the movie. The orc. I cannot think of his name
Nope,
right now.
I don't know what his name is either.
Yeah, but as far as like having like a motive and a plan, I do think as far as villain wise in the movie, you would have to know so much backstory to get and understand. Goldan, or
Yeah.
I think that's what it is.
Golden, like Guldan or something.
Yeah,
like that,
yeah,
with
his-
apostrophe somewhere in there.
His motive was simply to pretty much take over, get as much power, drain the land, because that was his goal. That was his diehard goal, and I think that.
Well, and it
maybe
was all to save the orcs and stuff like that, right?
I don't think it was to save the
Or was
orcs.
it just power for him?
I think it was power for him, or total annihilation and destruction and all of that cool stuff.
Yeah.
All right. Well, I want to go ahead and wrap this up. So I think my question to end on is pretty much a given. Can you give me your favorite villain that you like? It's a villain. You wouldn't mind putting this guy in the wall. You probably have a trinket of him. Mine's is Harley Quinn. Is my favorite villain. And can you give me a villain that you absolutely hate because they're just a poor representation of what a villain should be? Honestly,
Not the love-hate kind of thing, or hate-love, or whatever.
yeah, not the love to hate or whatever, but it's a poor example of a villain. It's like, come on. I can't think of one off the top of my head. There was that one show.
I can think of the really bad movie, the Mario Brothers movie with the
Koopa wasn't the worst part of the movie. The movie was the worst part of the movie.
but he was a bad villain.
He was a bad villain, yeah, but oh my goodness. You know what? I got
can't
this one.
touch dirt.
It is Mr. Freeze. He was the one that just ruins it. He was a horrible villain. I mean, I could say the Riddler, but honestly, of all the ice puns, I think he takes the cake for me. So
Well, just from the movie.
yes. Why is it? And then of course DC. For some reason, DC just has the market on villains too.
I don't know. For me, I guess my question would be, there's always these whole where this hero versus this hero. You see those kind of things where they do the who would win, Superman or Batman. Well, I want to know your who you would like to see matched up against each other for villains.
Oh, the villain fight.
Yeah.
Oh, let's see. Do I have an answer for that? A villain fight that I would like to see. I think this is one I would have to think about because there's so many cool matchups that I can pull, and they're all DC. To be honest, you know what? I already got it. I would love to see Bane versus Croc, and they may already have one of that, but Bane, and I mean not the Bane from the movie. I mean the Bane with he put the juice through his arms and whatever, and gets really bulky and becomes a big monster versus. The Croc from there was the video game with him, like he's a freaking giant and he's like stomping around and like the whole room shaking. Those two going at it.
For me, I think I would like to see the Joker versus Loki.
Joker versus. Okay, this is almost like a Batman versus Superman.
I know,
And
I know.
and
One has powers and stuff like that, but both of them have that like that clever kind of mindset where they do tricks and things like that. So I think that would be kind of cool as a mind versus mind kind of thing.
I could see that. I mean, he is the was it the god of mischief
Yeah.
versus the Joker? I mean, I think in a way that would be very, very interesting. I mean, I think that it becomes like that. Well, Superman could just knock him out. Loki could just knock him out. But and then like, how would you have that
Yeah,
happen?
but it's like the idea of just because.
Maybe you put him on a level playing field. All of a sudden, Loki has no powers.
Well, I'm
He's
saying
still Loki.
Well, I'm saying though, like I mean, you're taught self-defense, and so even if the person is bigger or stronger than you, that you can still take them down in certain ways. So I don't necessarily think like with that just because somebody is more powerful. I mean, there are obviously Superman's just like insanely powerful, but I still feel like there are some things that if you think about it, you could find a way around it.
Oh my goodness! I hope if there's some like someone who does like fan art
do I
or
think
drawings.
that Joker could win? Probably not, but
I think if I think it'd be interesting if they were somehow at the same level. Either all of a sudden for some reason Loki lost all of his powers, or Joker got powers like Loki.
Yeah.
And they were on evil playing fields. That would be one evil freaking battle. That would be awesome. I mean, you got if Loki's down there messing with like Joker's goons, and he has to get his own goons, so Loki has to have his own the mischief gang versus Joker's gang, or you have the god of Joker versus the god of mischief. I mean, I think that there could be some fan stories probably just written about that. That would be amazing. But I think you ended. You were ready to do this, so it's gonna happen, people. So in 3, 2, 1. Ah!
I don't know what you're wanting.
I didn't even know what I was wanting. Anyway, I want everybody to have a good day, the rest of your day, whenever you're listening to this.
Or night.
Please please visit our website, follow our blog. We're gonna have if you want to get more information about what
like, share, and subscribe.
Exactly. And until next time, guys, take it easy.